Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, I'm back in New York, and actually back in the New York City area on my way to the first true winter shoot that I've had the opportunity to do, because we have had absolutely no snow here in the New York, lower New York area all winter. In fact, almost 365 days since the last time we had measurable snow. But now, as I'm driving towards a park in the Hudson River Valley, you can see that we do actually have some snow. Looks like they got about an inch or two in this area, and I'm hoping that it will last long enough for me to get some decent images, because the temperature is supposed to actually go up into the by tomorrow, probably back over 50 degrees, which is like what, at least 10 degrees centigrade and Celsius, and basically 2 days from now, the snow that you're seeing right here is going to be gone. So you gotta strike while the iron is cold, I guess. So I'm going to check back with you all in a little bit and see where I can find as I get to my destination. I'm not sure about which exact location I'm going to go to in the park. There's one, there's like an abandoned day camp that I might go to, but then there's also a stream that I go to fairly regularly also when I visit this park. So either one of those is a possibility. I might even do both depending on how things work out and how the time works. So on my way, and I'll check back with you all in a little bit. All right, well, my location was chosen for me for my first shot, because when I went to the spot where the day camp used to be, the road was closed for the winter, so I had to double back and come into the park by another entrance. So here I'm by what's known as locally as Stony Brook, for what you'll see is obvious reasons. And the location I'm looking to shoot right now is a little cascade with a lot of boulders and trees around it. As you see here, I've got this frame here, this cascade right here, framed by the tree over here and the tree over here. I'm using a vertical composition, because if I zoom out just a little bit, you'll see that there's another little tree right to my left, and I want to not have this in the shot. That little branch that's sticking out right here, I might clone that out later, because I'm really trying to stick a delicate balance on where I want to shoot. My base exposure with just the polarizer on at ISO, well, actually it's at ISO 100, is f11 at 1/20th of a second, but that's going to be too fast for the cascade. So I'm going to slip a 3-stop ND filter on here. That should get me down to about 4/10 of a second thereabouts. Yeah, let's see, actually half a second gets me just to the point of clipping. And I've got the polarizer on here because I want to reduce the highlights in the cascade just slightly, but not too much. So I'm also going to have to focus stack this based on this tree being right close to me over here and the other one far over there and the cascade in the middle. So I think I'm going to take a 3-shot focus stack, with the first one being right here, so free focus, and I'm also have this composition kind of pre-framed in my viewfinder as a square crop, although I might, since they actually get the entire raw file preserved, not just the crop version, but I can recompose it later, so I've got enough room to change things around. I'm taking my second shot now. I'm going to take my third in a second, and I might vary the composition just a little bit, and whatever my final version is, you'll see right here. Unfortunately, I have to call this first image a bit of a fail. I could not safely get closer to the cascade because of the thick snow covering slippery, moss-covered boulders, but as a result, the cascade is just too small in the image. I prefer to get close to the water, even into the water if practical, to get an angle of the cascade coming at you. That wasn't possible here. All right, so I'm a little bit further up the stream And this is a cascade that I've actually shot before 2 years ago when I was here in the wintertime. In fact, I believe I may have actually been standing on or behind those two boulders that are right over here. I'll put a link to that video if you're interested to see it. That's one of the things that I remember from that particular hike, is that I stumbled on a rock and damn near ripped my knee apart. So hiking off trail is a little bit dangerous and something that needs to be in the snow, especially when you can't see the boulders and whatnot that are underneath, because these boulders are covered with moss. You can't see that because they're covered with snow right now, but they're very slippery. But in any case, I've been here before. I'm right now composing what will probably be a square image, but maybe not. As I'm looking at it, this section of this cascade was like one of the most interesting ones in the area. I really always liked the way that the water spills over those boulders there, and surrounded by some other boulders that are covered with snow right now. I may zoom in or zoom out and do different things in terms of composing it, even vertically, because, whoa, well, I'm being photobombed by snow. I've lost my train of thought now. Oh, yeah. So I was going to say, I'm going to play around with a few different compositions, probably vertically, maybe ultimately set something up for a square. And I'll probably take maybe a zoom out a little bit further. Right now I'm at 52 millimeters thereabout on this lens. I might go out to the full 105 and pick out some details, because I just really love the details. The one thing I'm going to need here, though, is to put on a, well, actually I may not, because we just put the polarizer on here. I've got 0.3 of a second, which may just be long enough at ISO 100 at f14, but I am going to focus stack it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these first series of shots right here, take another one aimed at the middle of the composition, right where the water is, and then another one further back. And I'm also going to turn the polarizer around a little bit to see what that does. Actually, I think I'm a little bit overexposed, so I'm going to reset my exposure. I really don't want a longer shutter speed, a shorter shutter speed than 0.3 of a second. Actually, if anything, I want a longer one. But I think I want to put on a ND filter, see what that does. So I just mounted my 3-stop ND filter, and that's changed my base exposure from 1/8 of a second at ISO 100 and f14 to half a second at the same ISO and same aperture. And I think it's going to work out better. So I'm going to retake this composition again focus stacking. There's really not a lot of detail in the water. The water is almost too active, and it's almost becoming milky. I really want to get some detail in there. So, whoa, snow melt on my video camera, so I'm going to have to move quick, so I need to brush that lens off. Good thing it's weather sealed. So I'm going to try it again and raise the ISO to 400. Get my shutter speed down to 1/4 second. And I think that might actually work better. So my ultimate composition you're going to see right after this. Oh yeah, that's definitely better. I took a lot of images with varying shutter speeds trying to capture the power of the cascade. With the water rushing so hard, 0.3 of a second was too slow, as this unprocessed image shows. Even 1/6 of a second did not preserve enough detail in the water. I finally arrived at 1/13 of a second without an ND filter that seemed acceptable. I merged the best water splashes of several images in Photoshop and rendered the final composition in black and white. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So I've been looking for something to shoot other than waterfalls. I love waterfalls, but I don't want to just do waterfalls. And as I'm looking around the woodland here, as you're always looking for some kind of order among the chaos, to use the trope, I see some beech trees scattered among the pines, like that little one over there, but there's more over here. And they often don't lose their leaves during the winter, and as a result, you've got little splashes of color that could be a little interesting. So I'm looking at two trees actually in front of me that I think might be a possible subject. And so I'm going to frame them up and then talk you through the composition. All right, so here's my composition. I've got a single beech tree with some, what I think are oak trees right behind it. But basically it's got the four trunks that are going left to right here. And I really love the color of those leaves and the green trunk. I'm probably gonna pump up the colors a little bit in post, but I'm really kind of liking the way this is looking. It looks like it's going to be a good square crop image. So that's how I've got it pre-framed in my viewfinder on the LCD, even though I do actually have, or will have, the full raw file. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick with the square crop that I have right here because I really like it. I'm going to take this exposure right now. It's at about 80 millimeters f5.6, and I'm using f5.6 because I want to blur the background out. I really want to isolate on the beech tree that's in the front. So f5.6, 1/25 of a second, ISO 100. And now I'm going to try something different. As you can see, it's slightly snowing. Actually, I want to preview that first image first. Yeah, that's good. So it's slightly snowing, and I want to try and take advantage of that by trying something that I saw once in somebody else's video. I forget who it was, but I'm going to try a long exposure, because even though it's snowing, there's not much mist. But sometimes, if there's enough snow for enough period of time, it will look like this mist. And I'm just going to see if that works, and if that part of the photo works, you're going to see it. So let me go set that up, and then we'll see what settings I've changed. All right, so I've not recomposed. I've actually got the same composition, but I put my 10-stop ND filter on using my NiSi filter set. And with 10 stops, using photo pills, that gave me a shutter speed of 41 seconds at f5.6 and ISO 100. So I'm going to take this exposure now. I just wiped down. Actually, I'm going to have to wipe it down again. Like I said, we've got continuing snow, though as I was setting up, the snow was a little heavier, and now it's light. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to work, but if it does what I think it's going to do, the falling snow over a long exposure will make the background look just a little bit misty. And I'm going to take this shot right now and wait for 41 seconds. I'm not going to make you wait for 41 seconds. I might even try something even longer with a 15-stop exposure. But whatever works, if it works, and you'll see it right now. I think the first image worked out better for several reasons. There wasn't enough snowfall during the long exposure to make any substantial difference compared to the first photo. The 41 seconds also allowed some snow accumulation on the ND filter, which affected image quality. And finally, there was some motion in the leaves that I couldn't see in real time, but the long exposure revealed, resulting in minor blurring in the long exposure image compared to the original. This technique might work better in architectural scenes where absolutely nothing is moving. I hope to try it again. Next, I found a composition of a different tree with a bit less clutter behind it, and actually that might make it a better image overall. Let me know what you think in the comments. So that last series of shots was a little bit of a struggle because of water accumulating on the lens. I had to keep wiping it down. In fact, I've got a raincoat on the video camera right now because of the fact that the snow showers have picked up. But now it actually started to turn to rain a little bit, and it's also starting to get dark. So I'm probably going to head back to the car now. But I want to thank you all for joining me on this little adventure. And before I sign off, I want to let you guys know that I recently joined the Amazon Affiliates program. If you look at the description of the video, you'll see that I have a list of all my gear and stuff that I use to shoot the videos and take photos. And it would help the channel out if you happen to shopping for gear for yourself, if you use one of my affiliate links for you to get something I'm using or to get something that you want to use. Basically, it doesn't cost you anything extra to use my affiliate links. I get a small commission if you do happen to buy something that's a qualifying purchase, and it helps the channel out, and it will help, and any little bit will help me bring more content to you guys. So again, thanks for joining me. So if you could, if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscription button, hit that notification bell that's right down there so that next time I upload, you'll see it right away. And if you have any comments about my video, yay or nay or whatever, or any suggestions of things that you'd like me to do, please let me know. Please feel free to share. All that stuff helps the channel grow. So thanks for joining me again. And until next time, I'll see you.